We're on the campus of Kirkwood Community College tonight. Women's college basketball inside Johnson Hall, where the Kirkwood women, in all of their success, national champions just 3 years ago, are hosting Des Moines Area Community College, a team that broke a long losing streak over the weekend and hopes to continue their winning ways tonight here on the south side of Cedar Rapids against a Kirkwood team that is ranked number 2 in the nation. They've lost only twice this year, and when they played DMACC earlier in the season, 11 different Kirkwood Eagles scored in the victory. We'll start it next on MC22. We're inside Johnson Hall tonight, ready for women's college basketball between DMACC, Des Moines Area Community College, taking on the Eagles of Kirkwood. Kirkwood off to another fantastic start at 22-2 on the season. Good evening. I'm Bob James along with Jerry Koala. It should be a good one tonight, Jerry.
Absolutely looking forward to this one, especially with Kirkwood as good as it is. They're just on a roll as they have been for years under Kim Moole's tutelage. And Des Moines Area Community College with Steve Krafsison as their head coach, starting to rebuild that program a little bit. Look forward to a nice up-tempo game here tonight.
Yeah, Steve, the all-time winningest coach in DMACC history. And tonight for DMACC, they're going to look to a freshman, Jada Powell, who's having a good season.
And they got a lot of freshmen on this basketball team, but a good one that she is. Jada, a good athlete. She shoots 58% from the floor. A double-double she averages game in and game out. So she's the good headliner for Des Moines Area Community College.
And meanwhile, for the Kirkwood ladies, Paige Bradford leading the team in scoring and rebounding, almost 14 points per game. And you see the incredible shooting percentage, too. She's able to fill it up.
Well, Kim Newell's had some terrific athletes over the years, and Paige Bradford fits right into that mold. She's terrifically athletic up and down the basketball court, but she does shoot 58% from the floor, but she's awful quick. She really is a nice team player, gets all of her teammates involved in the game.
Two coaches with long histories, and they go head-to-head next. It's Kirkwood and DMACC on MC22. College basketball action on Mediacom MC22 is brought to you by the McGrath family of dealerships, by 5 Seasons Tire, the Tom Riley Law Firm, by Klinger Paint and Interiors, Heartland Hearing Center, and by Extreme, powered by Mediacom. Welcome to the home of the Eagles, as it says right below the press box here inside Johnson Hall at Kirkwood Community College, getting ready for women's college basketball between the Bears of DMACC and the Eagles of Kirkwood. Bob James with Jerry Koala, and we see the starting lineups being announced down on the court. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, first of all, for the visitors from Boone.
Well, they're on the road. They're here at Kirkwood, and they're playing against the mighty Kirkwood Eagles. So they got to have strong, balanced scoring among all the players who are on the basketball court. And if they can control the glass on the defensive end, keep Kirkwood to 1 shot per possession, I think they'll give themselves a chance to win.
And they're obviously hoping to get off to a better start than they did when these two teams met earlier in the year. Kirkwood led by 15 after the first quarter in that one. The keys tonight for second-ranked Kirkwood.
Well, they're going to get off to a sizzling start, which is the modus operandi of Kim Moole. Every time they come out to play, they need to shoot well, they need to play solid defense and stifling B, as I call it, and they will do that. This is a really good defensive Kirkwood basketball team.
And a Kirkwood team that, of course, is able to put up points, too, averaging 77 points per game on the season, 43 rebounds per game, almost 17 assists as well. They lost to number 4 NIACC here on January 29th. That is something that Kim Moole's teams have not done very often, lose at home.
Yeah, I think he had a long consecutive win streak, years ago here at Johnson Hall, and they don't lose at home at all, to be honest with you. I think he's had probably the best record in the nation for home wins over his 31 years of head coaching experience here.
Pretty amazing to think that in his 31 seasons, he has never had a team win less than 20 games. That, I mean, that's just almost unheard of.
And when he started out with this program back in 1989, Bob, I think they had won only 3 games in the previous year. So he jumps in and they get started, and he's maintained that pace since he's been at this program.
There you see the incredible number of victories against only 160 defeats in season number 31. Kirkwood 2-1 in the Iowa Community College Athletic Conference to start this season. I say to start the season, but we're late in the season, 22-2 overall, and DMACC controls the opening tip. Very nearly stolen away by the Eagles down on the baseline. Knocking it out of bounds was Hodges Johnson, and DMACC will keep control of the basketball. Asia Mena to inbound, gets it up top to Powell. Our starting lineups: Riley Gatton along with Asia Mena, just mentioned, Jada Powell, Hannah McKinney, and also Taylor Lessmeyer for DMACC. Kirkwood with the steal and their first offensive possession of the night.
And you can see how quick Kirkwood is defensively. They only give up 51 points per game. You know, that's a 26-point differential per game, you know, between how many points they score and how many they give up. So again, it's a very strong defensive Kirkwood basketball team.
Starting lineups for Kirkwood: Paige Bradford at one of the guard positions, along with Tatiana Hodges Johnson, Ju Gaston, Amara Lipsy, and Marissa Metz. And that ball goes off the official out of bounds. Right down in front of us here. Goes back to Kirkwood.
You know, when these two teams played a few weeks ago, Bob, you know, Kirkwood jumped off to a great start against them, and you know, ended that game very quickly, which they've been doing all season long in a lot of ways against everybody they play. But they you know, that's part of the culture, is they show up to play strong and win basketball games.
What an athletic save by Ju Gaston, who then gets the return pass and hits the 3 to open the scoring in this game. That's grabbing that defensive rebound for Kirkwood, and we have our first foul of the game. There you see Steve Kraftsison, the former Iowa Hawkeye, who is in his 15th season as head coach at DMACC.
Well, you know, you got a long history to talk about him being a former Hawkeye. We're talking 40 years ago that he played on that Final Four basketball team with Coach Ruud Olsen.
No one will ever forget, though, obviously, with it being a Final Four team, as you mentioned. Bradford the bucket there, and Kirkwood has a 5-0 lead.
But he spent 15 years here at DMACC, and he's got a good program going. He had coached at North Iowa Community College as well in Mason City, outside of Mason City, for 7 years prior to going down to Des Moines, or Boone, that is, to head Des Moines Area Community College.
Hodges Johnson with the little jumper in the lane. And now DMACC having a little bit of trouble with some Kirkwood three-quarter court pressure. Long 3 off the mark for McKinney, and it goes out of bounds. Kirkwood gets the ball.
And I think that head coach Steve Kraftsison would prefer that they get into an offensive set. They can't run with Kirkwood and try to expect to be in this basketball game. So I think even if they've got a 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 and the best shot you have is a 3-point goal, I think he'd rather see them set up in the offensive set.
Nice offensive move, and gets the hometown roll, does Hodges Johnson. She has 4, and Kirkwood up to a quick 9-0 lead.
With a bump from the defender, and then she just pitches it up off the board. Nice soft touch that falls through the basket.
Just inside the 3-point circle, up and good for Jada Powell. First 2 points of the night for the visiting Bears. All the way to the hole again. Just a little too hard for Hodges Johnson kind of missed the backboard on that shot. Now a long three off the mark for Riley Gatton for DMACC, rebounded by Kirkwood as they bring it across the timeline.
Des Moines Area Community College, a 29% three-point shooting team, Bob. They've pitched up 711 coming into this game.
Mena gets the theft, pass ahead, layup, good. Give that bucket to Taylor Lessmeyer.
Nice defense and just looking ahead for a teammate for that easy layup.
Kirkwood with a nice long entry pass. A little short on the shot, though, by Bradford. Now she outlets it, and Kirkwood will reset the offense. Bradford gets it back, goes to the left hand, and puts it off the glass for two.
Well, she did that by going into the lane with her right hand. Bob got the defender sealed on her back, and she just wheeled back to her left with an easy jump hook. The old Mike and drill with the left hand. You'll see this coming right down here. Low post, she goes into the lane, and she'll just wheel back with the left-handed Mike and put back. Reminds you of your old days of playing basketball, Bob.
You clearly never saw my attempts. Steve Krafsison seen enough. He's going to take a little bit of a timeout to discuss things. You see the Kirkwood kids who are very confused as to exactly where they're located tonight, with some light snow falling outside and temperatures dropping to around 0 during the course of the night. Maybe that's the way you live through it.
Well, I wonder if the prerequisite today on the 12th of February was they had to run from their dorm or their apartment or wherever that they live in those thongs and shorts and, you know, that beach wear.
It could be. I don't know. But they are out in force in the Eagles' nest, cheering on the home team here tonight. The second-ranked team in the country, as we mentioned. And Kraftsison's team, as does Mule's team, comes out of that timeout. And DMACC will take it right to left in front of us, down 7.
Good look at Paige Bradford, freshman out of Davenport. She quite a talent. You know, they come here to a junior college because they probably thought that they would have received, you know, better offers from, you know, larger, you know, Division I, Division II schools. So they come here to improve themselves and are in the right area with Kim Moore.
Long three-point attempt by McKinney hits the front of the iron. About Bradford as the teams who were warming up tonight. She seems to always have that smile on her face.
Gotta play the game with some fun, don't you? Intensity, but fun.
I swear she smiled there before she made that move and put it up and in.
She's got some very swift moves around the basket when she gets that ball down to the low post area. And I think, Bob, you know, for as much as she's posting up here, when she gets to that collegiate level, the upper collegiate level, they'll move her to probably a 3 or a 4. She won't have to play the 5. Because at 6 foot tall, you're almost 3-4 inches smaller than anybody that plays the 4 and 5.
You mentioned that quickness. That can definitely make up for a lack of size. Long three. No good by Mena. And here comes Gaston. She'll go right down the center of the lane. Have it knocked away, but there's Bradford to pick it up. Now a long three. Kirkwood off the front of the rim. No good by Metz. DMACC getting some good looks. They just can't get those threes to fall so far. Mena, another miss.
And until they start making them, Kirkwood's going to take a step back and let him shoot that 24-foot shot.
Nice pass again inside to Bradford, who uses the glass for 2 more.
They move so well. When that ball's moving around the perimeter, Paige Bradford, if she's on the weak side away from it, she knows exactly when to cut across that lane to receive a pass, because, you know, you can't take seconds to get yourself into a position to get a pass and make a shot, because that defense is right on top of you.
Defensive rebound by Lipsy. Ahead to Metz. Saves it back to Bradford for, I was going to say 2 more, but it hits the back of the iron that time.
You want to get ahead of yourself, huh?
She's been automatic underneath there so far, but not that time. Inside the 3-point circle from Mena, and she hits that one. She has her first 2 of the game.
And the one thing they got to find out for sure is that they can't rely on the 3-point shot to keep them in this game or shoot them into this game, because they'll shoot themselves right out of this game. So they got to try to run some offense, get some shots from inside the 3-point line. If they can get them in the paint, that would make it even better.
Offensive rebound by Hodges Johnson. She'll go to the line. The foul, I believe, was on Taylor Lesmeyer.
Now watch this. 5 blue jerseys watching that ball bounce around. Yep. Nobody goes after the rebound, Bob. And she's right there to clean it up. Get to the free throw line.
Tatiana, I think, was a little bit surprised when that ball came off the rim. There was nobody there to contest her to get the offensive rebound, and then she drew the foul.
Kirkwood's done a nice job of getting to the free throw line, Bob. They've shot 450 of them, made 312.
Hodges Johnson makes 2 there.
Defensively, free throws, teams have got a modest 416 attempts and 253 makes. That's 61%. But, you know, that's junior college basketball. It's a little bit more up-tempo. They got things going, a lot more risk-taking.
There's with a second opportunity. Off the hands of Kirkwood, and the Bears will keep it. And into the lineup now for Kirkwood for the first time comes Delaney Harris.
Kamara Watson also in there on the inside. She's playing the post position, number 23, and they're out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. So you can see the distance that they traveled to come and play for Kim Moole at Kirkwood.
Three-pointer short. And the rebound grabbed by Courtney Drake. All the way to the hole. Maybe even a little piece of the underside of the rim did Jada Kennedy.
A lady out of Overland Park, Kansas, and a sophomore.
Caitlin Courtney, the defensive rebound for DMACC after the miss.
Tomaszewski in there in the post. 6'3" out of Shorewood, Wisconsin. I wonder how close that is to where Megan Gustafson hailed from in Wisconsin.
Good for Emma Mace. Lead is 9 with just under 2 to go in the first quarter. Up and over the defender, no good. Kirkwood, another offensive rebound, pulled down by Watson.
Yeah, does a nice job of getting in that position, just moving all the time, Bob. They just don't stand and watch when that shot goes up. They're looking for a spot to assume for an offensive glass rebound.
Nice idea that time. Tomaszewski wanted to get it to Kamara Watson. Defense of DMACC reacting quickly to that, knocking it out of bounds. Foul will be called against Courtney Drake for Kirkwood. It's her first and only the second foul in the first quarter, 1 on each team. Drake and Lesmeyer for DMACC. Another foul against Drake.
Well, you can see what DMACC is doing, Bob. They're doing a 5-out. They have all 5 players around the perimeter, right at the 3-point line, trying to penetrate and kick to an open player for a shot. With the absence of an inside game, Kirkwood, because DMACC hasn't been able to get into a consistent 3-point shooting success rate, has backed off, and so they're cluttering up the middle and not allowing that penetration.
Long three, too long. And traveling on the other end for Kirkwood as Kamara Watson took steps.
Yeah, just got her feet moving a little bit too quickly. DMACC has missed 10 3-point goals in this first quarter alone. So they haven't shot very well. from the outside, as you can imagine. And of the shots that they've missed, only one of them has come from inside the three-point line. So you can see they're relying on that three-point goal.
Nice move, but can't get the roll. Miss by Shamir Brown. A great offensive move, but Hodges Johnson didn't get rewarded. She fought for that offensive rebound, but DMACC finally able to pull it down. And a beautiful blocked shot by Natalie Tomaszewski.
Well, she's 6'3", has got a longer reach than that to really make sure a defensive presence in the middle when someone tries to penetrate the lane.
Well, that's one thing that Kirkwood, especially right now on the floor, has a big advantage in height. Just inside the three-point circle, and nothing but the bottom of the net for Jada Powell, who has 4. No good at the horn. And at the end of the first quarter, you'd have to say, as far as DMACC is concerned, that they had a much more successful first quarter than they did the first time these two teams met. We'll be back for quarter number 2 next on Mediacom MC22. You see head coach Kim Moole and the Kirkwood Eagles. As we went to break there, Jada Kennedy was fouled right as time expired. She hit 2 free throws, so that gives Kirkwood a 9-point lead here as we get ready for quarter number 2. Now that's 6 points better than the first time those two teams met. Kirkwood led by 9 after 1. DMACC 25-1 on the year, ranked number 1, and one of those wins, a victory over Kirkwood. You see the standings in the conference and also the fact that they're ranked number 1 in the nation. Kirkwood right behind them in both the standings and the rankings as well, Jerry.
Well, you know, that's 2 teams from the same conference that are headlining the nation in Division II women's junior college basketball. One of them has been a stalwart years for decades under Kim Moole. We take a look at the Kirkwood bench. The North Iowa Area Community College, you know, up and down, still trying to get up into a consistent level of success.
Kirkwood gets the ball to start the second quarter with that 9-point lead. Mary Bradford had 8 to lead the way for Kirkwood in the first quarter. She's sitting here as we start quarter number 2. Pass inside to Watson. She scores. Her first 2 points of the game and double-figure lead for Kirkwood.
You got to give your star athletes even a chance to catch their breath, and you just replace them with athletes who are very capable themselves.
Miss by McKinney. A couple of offensive rebound opportunities and finally a putback by Jada Powell. She has 6 points in the game for DMACC.
Again, she in the right place at the right time, following the shot where it's going to come off the rim if it's missed. She's able to get that rebound and go right back up and shoot it. See, here's a 1 3-point attempt that'll be missed, but Jada will come across and right underneath the basketball. That's some athletic ability right there.
Yep. Very nice play. Kirkwood nearly with the steal.
Yeah, you can't be too careful out there, too cautious. You don't want to hold that ball very long in your hands because you've got players who are coming around just to try to swat that ball away just a little bit. And Kirkwood, being as good as they are at their ability to play defense, is successful at getting a lot of steals.
Good job blocking out and getting the defensive rebound by Delaney Harris. And here comes Kirkwood. pass inside, turnaround, nice soft touch with the right hand for Watson, who has all 4 of Kirkwood's points here in quarter number 2.
Well, you know, it's just like, you know, a good football team that can control the ball offensively and run some clock, score when they have to. That's what Kirkwood does. They got themselves a nice lead at the end of the first quarter, Bob, and they're just taking it 1 possession at a time.
Foul goes against Kirkwood. It'll be on Addison Rath. First team foul number 1 here of quarter number 2. Good look at the hoop by Jada Powell, but the freshman from Des Moines not able to get that one to go.
Well, she couldn't get squared, and I thought she would just go up and, you know, soft touch it off the board, but did not do that either. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why she didn't make that shot. That offensive execution. You know, it's a team, Bob, that every year in and year out gets into the tournament, statewide, where they win their league most of the time. And this is the time we want to be playing your best basketball.
Yeah, the end of the regular season is near. Foul. Gaston, her first, team second. Courtney comes back in for DMACC. Anna McKinney. Asia Mena doing what she always does, inbounding that pass. Long 3-point attempt. Too long by Gatton. Mena had a hold of it for a second on the offensive rebound, and it ends up going out of bounds to Kirkwood.
Well, you got to like the determination from DMACC, Bob. They haven't shot the ball very well. They were 5 of 18 in that first quarter. No 3-point goals. And they find themselves in and within reach. A big mismatch there on the inside.
And good. Give 3 points to Ju Gaston, her second 3-pointer of the game.
I was going to say that Asia Mena was on Addison Rath. That's about a 4 or 5 inch height difference.
Foul on Kirkwood, that one on Harris. First on Harris.
Kirkwood shot just 6 of 17 in their first quarter. Making 1 3-point goal. They've matched that already here in the second quarter. DMACC has missed 4 3-point goals. They've missed 14 so far. I would imagine that trend will continue, Bob. They're bound to make a couple, right?
You would think so, but yeah, they have struggled, and honestly, most of them haven't been close. DMACC will go against Katie Scott. Ju Gaston drew that foul. A lot of subs in and out all the time for both teams. Kirkwood brings Metz back into the contest.
Well, in their last win, which was just their last game they played, that's the first win in 9 games. They were 15 of 36 from 3-point range. You know, very good. They were, been 11 of 33, but 5 of 27 before that, 7 of 25, 7 of 39. So they're continuing to try to make their mark from the 3-point beyond the arc, Bob, but just hasn't been all that successful.
Gaston misses the second free throw. That's the first Kirkwood miss of the game at the free throw line, and we have a foul called down in front of us.
22 black.
We'll call that foul on Katie Scott. That's her second. Team foul number 2 in the second quarter against DMACC. Nice block. Getting a good piece of that one was Caitlin Courtney.
And Watson has some excellent position, and I think she may have gotten fouled.
There's the three. Marissa Metz. No, excuse me. It's Emily Mace hitting that one for DMACC.
So Kirkwood allows teams to shoot the three-point ball at 23%, which isn't a very high percentage.
Off the glass, good by Watson. She has 6 in this quarter, and it's a 13-point Kirkwood lead. Shot clock violation just as Kirkwood was getting the steal.
You got to give Juke Gaston great credit on that defensive possession. Twice she knocks the ball away from a potential shooter. And the very last time was when the ball slid away. They weren't able to get possession change, and the shot clock violation went off.
Well, you could hear the bench for DMACC counting it down, and it just, thanks to that great defense by Kirkwood, not even able to get a shot away. Beautiful pass to Paige Bradford for a pair. She's in double figures with 10.
Simple give and go. And Bradford doing a nice job of making the cut, but they work on that type of thing. They realize her athletic abilities, and so they move the ball around the perimeter. She cuts into the lower part of the lane and makes the shot. You'll see it right here. There she goes, passes on top. She cuts right behind the post player, Caitlin Courtney, and easy layup.
Yeah, very, very well done. Like you said, Jerry, as soon as she threw that pass, she took off for the hoop, and the defender just, you know, I hate to say went to sleep, because it doesn't take long, just a fraction of a second, and you've lost the opportunity to defend that play.
You cannot relax on any play. And it doesn't matter who you're playing, where you're at. That's the way basketball is played. Everybody's moving at almost the speed of light, if you will, but they're moving all the time and not standing around. Those are the good teams.
After the timeout, DMACC ready to inbound. Down by 15 now.
Kirkwood was up 9 at the beginning of the quarter. Now they've extended that to 15. Decent defense and making some timely shots.
Long three, bounces high into the air, no good. DMACC gets the offensive rebound, pulling it down as Shamir Brown.
Well, a few second chances do you get against Kirkwood. You need to take advantage of it.
And stolen away.
She gets so close to the basket. Shamir Brown does. Why not go up and shoot it?
Bump out front on DMACC. That's going to go against.
And for the Bears, number 14.
23, Shelby Raymond. As DMACC is going deep into that bench already here in the first half.
Got to find that chemistry, that right chemistry, to give this team a spark.
And good for 3. The basket by Marissa Metz.
And now they're getting that balance. That's her 17th three-point make on the season.
Jada Powell just really went right into the defense there and got tied up by Paige Bradford. The alternate possession, though, will keep it on the Bears' end of the court.
7 Kirkwood players are hitting double digits in three-point makes, so you can see the balance that they're able to accumulate.
Gets the pass ahead, controls and lays it up for 2 more.
And did a nice job of beating DMACC down court for that easy layup.
Bradford gets the foul call. That's her first personal foul and free throws for Lesmeyer.
DMACC doing the same thing, though, coming right back. As soon as that layup is made, DMACC gets that ball out of bounds, quickly inbounds, and just pass that ball forward. Didn't get the layup to fall, but are at the free throw line.
5'9" sophomore hits the free throw. Second one rolls off, rebounded by Metz. Gaston draws the foul.
Fourth leading scorer on the team. At 8 points a game. Well, you can see as a point guard, she really does a nice job of getting the offense into play, but defensively she really knows how to disrupt the opposition.
Well, you said she's averaging 8 a game. She's at 8 right now. 3 for 4 at the free throw line.
She's had a couple of games this year where she's led them in scoring. 16 points against Bryant and Stratton College of Wisconsin. Back at the beginning of the season against Vincennes University, both in wins. They've got a number of players, Bob, who have led them in scoring throughout this basketball season.
As we've seen here in the first half, a lot of players see the floor for Kirkwood, and they all have the ability to put points on the board. Long three off the mark. As throwing it up at the end of that shot clock was Taylor Lesmeyer. Shot clock violation gives it over to Kirkwood.
What DMACC's not doing, though, is running good executing offense. They're not making passes and making cuts. They're not looking for that cutter for a layup. So they're standing around, dribbling the basketball, trying to get into positions, and they're just eating up their clock on their possession.
Long three off the front of the rim. Going after the rebound was the shooter, Hannah McKinney, but Kirkwood was able to take it away, and now McKinney gets the steal right at the free throw line on the other end.
You can see the pace of the game, and that's the pace that these teams will mostly play because it is junior college basketball.
And good for Jada Powell. She has 8.
And that's a compliment, Bob, because these, they're trying to impress some kind of a basketball college coach somewhere. And so their game is up tempo, lots of pressing, great defense. Offensively, good execution. Everybody gets involved. Everybody has a chance to score, depending on the play that's called. How about that, though, Bob? Pass to the wing, and she cuts right down the middle. Delani Harris.
Yep, just could not get it to go. It was a good offensive play, and after a miss by DMACC, here comes Kirkwood the other way. And we're going to have a walk. Little extra step in there for Ju Gaston.
Just trying to be fancy to get the defender off balance. She takes that extra step.
She's not buying what the refs sell. Doesn't matter.
He's got authority on the court.
That's right.
What he says goes, no matter how you feel about it.
As the struggles from three-point land continue for DMACC. Rebound put back for 2 for Tatiana Hodges-Johnson, who has 8 in the game now. Her first 2 of quarter number 2.
Well, plays at the right time. Again, we talk about not standing around.
And she gets the theft and lays that up for 2 more. Digits now with 10. spins in the lane, puts it in, fouled, and the bucket.
Boy, no hesitation whatsoever, Bob, on that reverse pivot move. Left-handed dribble, she'll wheel. Watch this, she'll fake. Left-handed dribble, she just does a complete reverse pivot. Doesn't palm the basketball. A lot of times you'll see basketball players palming that basketball, which means they get into a non-rhythmic thing, and it's a violation, but she's very smooth.
Courtney, her first personal foul as Bradford goes to the free throw line. Give her 13 in the game.
And for the Eagles, number 21, Addison Brown. Also back or in for the
Just 1 point under her season average now, 13.9 on the year. This game has slipped away from DMACC in a big way here in the second quarter.
Just can't get anything going offensively, and again, relying too much on that three-point ball, and then, you know, Kirkwood's defense has got to be taking some credit.
The Bears just not able to create a lot of offensive opportunities off the dribble. Kirkwood really doing a good job.
Good, smart, fundamental defense is what they're doing, playing good position defense, getting their hands on some of those basketballs, just not allowing DMACC with any open shots, and again, not allowing anybody to cut to the lane without being contested through the lane.
Called for the first foul. Steve Krafsison does not agree with that.
Well, she dived on top of the player who had it on the bottom of the pile on the floor. You can't dive on top of players. That's a pretty simple call.
Off the front of the rim, no good by Addison Rath. Rath misses both. DMACC the rebound as time expires in the first half with Kirkwood in control. It's 45-19, and we'll be back on MC22.
Back at Johnson Hall, the athletic theater here on the campus of Kirkwood Community College. Halftime of the Kirkwood women's basketball game, as you see that they've got complete control over DMACC and 45-19. I'm Jerry Koala, along with athletics director Doug Wagemaster here from Kirkwood Community College. Doug, it looks just like another typical Kirkwood women's basketball game. They really do so many things well offensively and defensively.
Yeah, Kim's got them rolling here. I'm sure he'll have some things to coach him up about at halftime, but it looks like we're winning the war of attrition. His teams are typically so deep, and it's hard for visiting teams to come in here and keep up with them.
The legacy that he's created over the 3 decades, and I think if I remember correctly, when he started here in 1989, I think they had won like 3 games the year before he got here, and he just immediately instilled, you know, a winning atmosphere. The culture changed immediately, and he's got 7 titles over the course of the last 31 years.
Yeah, Kim was here before I was, and obviously, I mean, the success started early. He found the recipe, which I think really boils down to the simple fact that he works his tail off. He's willing to recruit, and he plays a style. If he gets some ladies in here that are athletic, play a style that, like I say, wears teams down, and it's worked for him, and he's stuck with it. And I'm just amazed at his energy and his work capacity. He's a mature coach, let's put it that way, and he still seems to be outworking some people. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's year in and year out. You're going to have a tough time replacing him when he decides, you know, to lay it out, to let it go. But that's not for a few more years. Now we've got the men's team, you know, coming up here. They're coming off a national championship season, except they've got a new basketball coach, and they got another good team going.
Yeah, Tim Sandquist is our new coach, and it's funny, when I took over the coaching reins back in '98, I followed a national championship. And there's just some things about that make that difficult. It's hard. It's a new place. He moved his family. There's just a lot of unsettling things, and he's worked nicely through that. The team has helped him that way. They're in contention for the title, so we're excited about the direction that program's going as well.
And, you know, we're in the 21st century, Doug, and you got to keep up with what the Joneses are doing, or the North Iowa area community colleges, the DMACC, you know, everybody around, not only in the state of Iowa with the junior college ranks, but across the country, you know, in upgrading facilities and having the finest facilities for your athletes to come in. I would assume that Kirkwood Community College is doing the same thing right now.
Well, Kirkwood in general in my 22 years has been always looking to get bigger and better. You know, what can we do better from a facilities aspect? I would dare to say in my 22 years there's always been something being renovated, added, so on and so forth. It's funny you ask that. You know, we had a meeting the other day and the term positive restlessness came up. And that's kind of what we're about in the athletic department, I think, across the campus as a whole. We're always looking, what do we got to do to not only keep it where it's at, move forward? And a lot of times that includes facilities. And we're in the middle of potentially adding some upgrades to our facilities. Golf, we're looking at some upgrades in indoor capacity for the golf team, a few more things out on baseball and softball. But it's, you know, it never ends. It's always a work in progress.
You see all the banners of all the sports that have won national titles here at Kirkwood Community College, and you know, Doug, and in saying that, just these kids are here to go to school too. You know, they got to get a 2-year degree. You know, but there's so much emphasis placed on athletics.
Well, we talk about them in parallels. I mean, school and your sport and your program, and be true to your team and be true to what you're here for academically, and the coaches do a nice job of communicating that with them and holding them accountable, and you just can't have one without the other. The campus, the community works with us in that regard, and we're proud of the type of students, the type of people, and the type of athletes we're moving on.
It's growing very nicely. Doug, thanks for stopping up here and chatting with us here today about Kirkwood Community College's athletics and academics availability. Doug Wagemaster, the athletic director here at Kirkwood Community College. We'll be back with highlights and statistics of this first half game between Kirkwood Community College and Des Moines Area Community College in the women's game, 45-19.
Back at Kirkwood, the Eagles flying high, if you will, with a 45-19 halftime lead over DMACC. Jerry, let's look at those first half highlights.
Then a few of them just because of the fact that there's so many of them. So we're going to start with Kirkwood and Ju Gaston. Look at that. You talked about that athletic ability there with her saving the ball from out of bounds. She gets the pass back and makes the three-point goal to begin the scoring onslaught for Kirkwood. Here's a beautiful move by Paige Bradford, whom we talked about on the outset of this broadcast, and she's in double digits in this first half with the reverse layup there. Des Moines Area Community College had some of its own good plays. Taylor Lesmeyer right there receiving the lead pass and a layup. Tried a three-point goal, couldn't get it to fall, but Jada Powell there on the rebound and the putback. But here's Kirkwood. Here's, again, Paige Bradford doing a nice pass to the top of the key and a cut down low for an easy layup. And here's a three-point ball by Marissa Metz showing her range. The sophomore from Downers Grove, Illinois. Ju Gaston again looking ahead, finding Metz for an easy layup and a score. You can see her ability to run the basketball court too. And for Des Moines Area Community College, just made too many offensive problems, but nice defense by the Kirkwood Community College Eagles. Tatiana Hodges-Johnson right there with the steal, and she went in for the running jump shot to help Kirkwood get to this 45-19 lead.
Hodges-Johnson with 10 points in the first half. Paige Bradford with 13 to lead the way for Kirkwood. And you see those first half statistics very one-sided on the rebounding. Kirkwood has really been crashing the glass, and of course had a number of misses from especially three-point range from DMACC. Just 1 for 19 from there. And it's going to be tough to win any game when you shoot like that from far away from the basket, and just 22% overall in that first half.
No doubt about it, Bob. You know, Kirkwood comes to play every game out. You know you're going to get their very best, so you got to be at your best to be able to compete with them and have a chance to beat them.
We'll see what the second half has in store for us, and we'll begin that next on MC22. Back at Kirkwood, time for a little refueling at the half. We didn't get refueled, Jerry. We missed out.
Well, I was going to say, the only people that weren't in line there at the concession stand were me, for sure, and perhaps you, too.
Well, as you saw, the cheerleaders had to go get a little refreshment at halftime, too. They are back on the court, as are the teams, and we are ready to go. As Kirkwood is able to knock the ball off the legs of a DMACC player. It's a really nice play there by Kirkwood's Amara Lipsy, knocking it off of Asia Mena.
You just got to pick up where they left off in that first half. You got to keep moving. You got to have that high energy, and you know you got to play superb basketball. They're getting close to tournament time, and you want to be playing your best basketball right now.
Metz goes to the hole, misses with the left hand. The ball knocked right into the hands of Bradford. Another miss. Now the ball loose on the floor, picked up again by Kirkwood. Gaston underneath to Bradford as they throw it around the horn. Bradford from 17, no good, and DMACC finally gets the defensive rebound.
3 shot attempts at it, just couldn't get one to fall.
Turnover on the other end as it goes off the hands of McKinney.
And for Des Moines Area Community College, Bob, they got to execute and they've got to score in their offensive end for one. But what they need to try to do as well is run. You got a chance to get a fast break out and get a lead runner down court, get her a pass or an easy layup. I mean, sometimes that's the easiest way to get back into a basketball game when you're down by 26.
Kirkwood really doing a nice job creating space. Marissa Metz hits the 3 from the top of the circle.
Good ball movement. They find her at the top of the circle and able to bury the 3-point shot.
Metz has 8. Jump ball, alternate possession. Gives it to DMACC. Now the officials will discuss.
Steve Craftsison, part of the Twin Towers in 1978, 77, 78, 79. He redshirted the year of 77, 78. Back the next 2 years after that, Bob, and of course he's part of that Final Four team. He and Steve Waite.
Yep.
University of Iowa.
My wife had as a classmate, married to Steve Waite. Back in her high school days, I'm dating all of us, aren't I? Steve Craftsison frustrated on that DMACC bench.
Well, frustrated with his own team, and now all of a sudden he tries to get a call for his own player, and he can't get it. That's equally as frustrating. You know, they come in with a 9-15 overall record.
A technical foul against Craftsison.
Well, the officials can only do so much to, if you will, help a team that's down by 28 points. They can only do so much. You know, they got to keep it fair, got to make it right. You know, a lot of it is just the fact that DMACC has to play better.
Amara Lipsy's free throw good. She misses the second. It was her first point of the game on the previous free throw.
So play will resume from where it ended after the 2 free throw shots for the technical foul. So Kirkwood will have it.
And they're now, I think, discussing whose ball it should be.
Well, it just depends on where it ended before the technical foul.
Figure it out.
Well, I think DMACC had lost it out of bounds or something. It went off her leg or out of bounds, and I think Kirkwood would have the possession because the technical foul happened after that. Just certain things that the officials do have to make sure they pay attention to when they get to the technical parts of these rules.
So they were right with what they thought originally, and that was Kirkwood basketball.
Yeah, the college game a little bit different than the high school game when it comes to technical fouls and where they'll inbound the ball, how they inbound it. Des Moines Area Community College has gone to a zone defense, Bob.
Offensive rebound and a foul drawn by Tatiana Hodges-Johnson.
Des Moines, DMACC just has to be more aggressive on the defensive glass. They've got to get up and rebound. They're just allowing way too much simplistic offensive rebounding.
2 free throws coming for Hodges-Johnson. The first one is good. She has 11 points in the game. She makes a pair.
You know, now what's important for Kirkwood is just to maintain that level of play that they are. It's easy to get complacent with a big lead like this.
Traveling called on Kirkwood after that defensive rebound.
Lipsy got her feet tangled up with the DMACC player and it caused her to trip and fall after she had rebounded the ball.
DMACC looking to dent the scoreboard for the first time here in the second half. A little over 2 minutes in and no points so far. Trying to split the double team. Foul called on Kirkwood.
You know, it's kind of amazing, Bob. We see as much physical contact as we do on a player who's driving to the basket. How players are trying to jump in front of him or her to draw the player control foul versus maybe find a different way to defend that way. Because I think if you're going to put the situation into the hands of an official, chances are you might end up losing out on that. If you're trying to draw the player control foul.
Right.
Find a different way to defend it.
Foul was on Lipsy for Kirkwood. Hodges-Johnson takes it in again and draws the foul. It's going to go against 33. Taylor Lessmeyer.
Look at her survey this. Bob does a nice crossover dribble going in for the running jump shot from about 6 feet away. Draws the foul. I like Tatiana Hodges-Johnson. She's really very athletic. Fits the role nicely for what Kim Moule wants out of this basketball team.
13 points in the game, well above her season average, just over 8. And she is 4 for 4 at the free throw line here in the second half and 6 for 6 at the game at the stripe.
Even though they are free throws that they're advancing the lead with, Bob, they're still playing terrific defense.
And another steal right on cue.
I think the idea to get the pass in there was right, but Hannah McKinney didn't really do a very good job of trying to receive that post pass because, you know, Drew Gaston gets in there, knocks it away, and there's a 4-inch height difference between the two of them.
3-second call on Marissa Metz, turns it over to the Bears. You mentioned that defense. It has been difficult all night for DMACC to put points on the board, and they still haven't scored here in the second half. Grab against Amara Lipsy. That's her second.
That shot clock had been getting down below 5 at that point when the foul was committed.
Three-point attempt, no good by Katie Scott. Off the hands of Marissa Metz on the Kirkwood end.
I like the way Metz is running up and down the basketball court. Young lady at 6'1", a sophomore. Not quite sure where her future has for her, Bob, but I think she'll make a women's basketball coach at the Division II or Division III level. Very happy. She can shoot the three, and we've seen her with a couple easy layups in other situations.
Traveling on DMACC, Shamir Brown.
Back for the Eagles, number 14, Courtney Drake.
This is one of those games that coach and players wake up in the middle of the night with the hot sweats after it, because this is a nightmare. Just a tough game for DMACC here on the offensive end.
You know, when you come in with a great game plan, you know, how you're going to attack this team, and you can't get it done because they're efficient defensively and equally as efficient offensively.
You had no idea where I was going with that, did you?
No. Well, I was thinking I was going to answer you if you were going to end there with the nightmares. You say, yeah, Steve Krafsison is going to have himself a sleepless night tonight.
Yes, he is. Three-pointer Kirkwood, left side, up and through. Courtney Drake with her first three of the game.
11:01 to begin this third quarter.
Now almost 5 minutes without cracking the scoreboard for DMACC. Traveling.
She didn't fall down on her own, Bob. She was tripped. She had the lead step on the Kirkwood defender, and she did go down to the ground, but the defender did not have position. You know, calling fouls on when feet are involved. You still got to have position.
Steve Krafsison calls timeout as we take another look at that. This is actually the previous trip down for Kirkwood, a three-pointer from the corner.
Excellent ball movement. Move that ball around the perimeter. Nice set of the feet, squaring. Nice follow through for Courtney Drake. 5'9" freshman out of Wilton, Iowa, in eastern Iowa.
I don't know what the answer is in the DMACC huddle, because as we've been saying here in this third quarter, the defense that Kirkwood has been playing is just so good. Obviously, they're getting it done on both ends of the floor.
You got to be quicker with your passes, shorten your passes. You got to be faster with your movements. You got to cut through. You got to make those passes. Kirkwood's very tough. There's no question about it. But you got to try to be somewhat ahead of them by a half a step or whatever. And then, you know, the three-point shots they've missed throughout this entire basketball game, and I think that's what they've been living on throughout the year, and they're dying on it tonight.
Yep, that will not go. I believe it was 1 for 19 in the first half, and obviously, having not scored here in the third quarter, it's not getting better. Another three from the corner, up and good again for Courtney Drake.
Back-to-back three balls by Courtney.
Now a 40-point Kirkwood lead. DMACC with the offensive rebound. A turnover. Trying to get the return pass to Hodges Johnson, and a foul called on Des Moines Area Community College. Foul will go against number 5, Shamir Brown, her second.
Hodges, fast break. Just trying to be unselfish. Gaston probably should have went in, taken a shot off the board. She was way too close to Hodges Johnson for one, and then she was so close to the basket. There wasn't going to be, you know, an easy way to make that pass.
Could have Picked who you wanted to call that foul on. A lot of contact against Kaylee Shea, too. But the first contact came from the other player. And off the hand of Bradford, out of bounds.
Rare mistake by Kirkwood, but they're going to make them with a 40-point lead. It's going to be, very low significance.
Long three, left corner. Just a little too long by Kaylee Shea. Kirkwood just keeps filling it up from the outside. That's Natalie Tomaszewski with the three.
6'3", Bob catches that pass and immediately with a three-point shot and score.
DMACC will keep it on their offensive end. Hannah McKinney. That looked like a good opportunity to score there, but ended up hitting it off the bottom of the backboard or bottom of the rim. I'm not sure which, but went out of bounds off of Kirkwood.
I doubt we see the starters the rest of the night for Kirkwood, although I wouldn't be surprised if at some point that he'll put him in at the beginning of the fourth quarter for at least 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. They got to continue to keep playing, and because you don't want them to lose that edge.
Hodges Johnson gets the theft. Nice pass underneath, the layup for Watson. She has 8.
Across the lane pass, Bob. I mean, that's through a defender in an angle that you don't really see happen a lot.
Kenny overshoots the hoop. DMACC with the steal. Stopping and popping from about 12 feet. No good. Les Meyer the miss. Now an easy bucket all alone underneath for Watson, who is in double figures with 10.
Kirkwood continues to force the issue here. Again, DMACC not rebounding very well, not really even playing very good defense, forced to 6 feet away from the basket. Now Kirkwood to do exactly what they want to do.
Powell. By Drake. The defensive end is getting really bad now for DMACC. Long jumper, short on the rim. Just a nightmarish third quarter. More than 8 minutes without a point.
Too quick on the shot. They're just trying to pull the trigger just to get anything to go down. Still got to run some offense. Got to gain back some of that respectability.
3, good again. Filling it up from the outside.
That is a big wow, Bob.
Tomaszewski with 2 threes in the third. McKinney for 3. Well, you just wish one would go in for him, don't you?
Just for the sake of moving the clock or their score off of 19.
3-point attempt. Short, but rebounded by Kirkwood. Watson goes to the left hand. Little short, Kirkwood the rebound. Jumper, Hodges Johnson misses. Watson another rebound. Just getting outworked underneath. Terrible.
And for the Eagles, number 3, Delaney Harris. And for the...
You see, there's one shot by Hodges Johnson on the backside. Watson with the rebound. And onto her arm to commit the foul against her. She goes to the floor, but you're right, they're relentless on the boards, Bob. You just can't let up ever. I mean, I don't care what the score is, because you don't ever want to lose that edge. They've lost a couple of games this year.
Watson for 2 more.
And it wasn't because they didn't give good effort, but sometimes you don't have that edge.
Good, Kirkwood the rebound. Long three. No good by Mace. Kirkwood will try the three. Good again for Delaney Harris, her first three of the game. And mercifully, the third quarter has come to an end for DMACC. It's Kirkwood 76. Des Moines Area Community College 19, the final 10 minutes coming up on MC 22. Back at Kirkwood Community College, Bob James along with Jerry Koala as we get ready to start quarter number 4. Kirkwood with this game well in hand, and they'll have the offensive possession to start the fourth and final quarter. Actually, they're going to give the ball to DMACC now.
They forgot to make the arrow switch for the alternate possession arrow.
Yep, changing. And DMACC will try and get their first points in a very long time here on their first possession of quarter number 4.
12 minutes and 25 seconds of basketball, Bob, since their last basket. Back in the second quarter.
Ahead, layup no good. Rebound pulled down by DMACC, and double technical. Reagan Brewster. They were having words, and then a little bit of a push from the Kirkwood player, and then the official calls the double team.
I guess, you know, the easy way out is unnecessary. You know, Tom Mazewski misses the layup, and then they both come down with the rebound and just let it go. It's easy for me to say, you know, the competitive edge it can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see the frustration, you know, on the DMACC players.
There's the three, and through. Asia Mena. First time they've dented the scoreboard since 2:27 left in the second quarter. A long drought, obviously, and glad to see DMACC break that. Here they come again, Mena. Another three-point attempt. She hits again.
Getting into a rhythm.
Toma Mazewski just reaching over the DMACC players. Draws the foul after her third offensive rebound. Basket counts.
She's not doing a good job of blocking out, but at the same time, you got to jump up and grab that basketball. And I realize she has a height and reach advantage. Sometimes it's not about coming down the rebound. Sometimes it could be just tipping the basketball away from her, so she doesn't. She's not able to get her hands on it.
The Shorewood, Wisconsin native misses the free throw. For Kirkwood is Jada Kennedy.
Does a nice job to get Mena up into the air. That just gets her in the air off balance. She goes right to the basket, and Mena just has to hack her across the arm to keep her from making that layup. I think he's got some good quickness, Bob. They got good skills. They have the great ability to put it on the floor and take it to the basket. And of course, Jada, a sophomore, looking for more playing time.
Makes the free throw. Used a little of her own body English after she shot that free throw.
She averages 16 minutes a game and 3 points per game.
And for the Eagles, number 21, Madison Rapp, and 33, Brittany Smith.
Against Addison Rath with Kirkwood.
DMACC Bears, number 0, Bethany Evans. And for the Bears, number 22.
No good by Bethany Evans. Kirkwood's number 33. That's Brittany Smith, who's in the game now.
How about this for ball movement and execution, getting the ball down low. Brittany doing a nice job of holding her post position and waiting for that ball to get out to the right wing for her to receive that pass.
Back for the Bears, number 12, Jada Pollock.
Kirkwood has broken the 80-point barrier, averaging 77 per game coming in tonight.
The non-regulars getting a good chance here to get a number of minutes on the basketball court. You're always building that bench. You know, they played well. They played hard tonight, Bob. They've given it full effort, and it shows. You know, with almost a 60-point lead.
Nothing will fall tonight for DMACC, and sometimes you have those nights. You just gotta battle through it.
Isn't that something? I mean, they've had some nice shots at the basket. It just isn't falling for them.
And you know, a lot of that, is we've talked about throughout the course of the night, is the defense, and you know, it gets in your head. You like that last trip there down the court. A pretty good look from McKinney, but just not able to get it up over the rim and off the glass.
Sometimes you start pressing way too hard. You don't want to, giving it even a further effort than you have, and you can see the look on head coach Steve Krafsison's face, shaking his head. You know, what can we do? Well, you just got to come back out and practice tomorrow and get ready for your next game. That's really all you can do.
Free throw by Delaney Harris gives her 4 points. Just like in their first meeting, Kirkwood has 11 players now who've done it the scoreboard. Bethany Evans for 3. Her first 3 of the game. Kirkwood gets 2 more on the bucket by Delaney Harris.
They're just running this DMACC defense ragged. That was a pass all the way across the court. And she catches it, takes it right to the basket.
Here in the second half, and 6 of them here in the fourth quarter. It's too hard off the glass for number 12 for DMACC. That's Jada Powell. Powell gets the defensive rebound. She had 8 points in the first half, but has not scored since. Gets the offensive rebound, and the foul will go against Brittany Smith of Kirkwood.
So they've missed 6 3-point shots here in the fourth quarter alone. Missed 7 3-point shots in the third quarter.
2 for 45 or something like that. Yeah, I'm serious. I think they were 1 for 19 in the first half.
Just not good.
Tough road. Actually, they've hit 2 threes here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a break. Kirkwood has this one well in hand on MC22. The inbound pass knocked away. Getting a hand on it for Kirkwood was Watson. Watson gets it underneath. Pass outside the three-point circle for another 3 from Delaney Harris, who continues to fill it up. He's got a dozen here in the second half.
He's got a nice shot, nice game about her, Bob. She moves well, good athlete. That's a good call. Courtney had to position Bob low post, and Camara Watson just not only backing into her, but she turned sideways to put a shoulder into her as well, trying to move closer to the basket.
Smith can't. Excuse me. It wasn't Smith, but Lesmeyer couldn't get it to go.
He had a nice shot at it, 13 feet from the basket. Got turned, squared. Good follow through, just doesn't fall.
And Mena, who's been leading the offense down the court all night long, does it again for DMACC with under 3.5 to go in the game. Nice move by Lesmeyer. Again, a little too hard, though. We've seen a lot of those in close where they've just put a little too much on it. On the other end, Watson hits. She has 8.
Late fast break. Watson does a nice job to run right down the lane. Is picked up on the outside by Delaney Harris with the assist.
no good. Brittany Smith wanted to try the three. Lessmeyer the other way for two. Taylor has 5.
And it just seems that DMACC just trying to score any way they possibly can. It doesn't matter how they do it. Versus, you know, getting into a team aspect of things, and let's just play this game out together.
And number 22, Katie Scott.
It's just been a tremendous effort by Kirkwood on their home court.
To go. Courtney Drake comes back into the lineup for Kirkwood, replacing Addison Rath.
You know, Taylor Lessmeyer's really done a nice job for DMACC tonight. A lot of phases other than getting that ball to drop in the basket.
Another nice move by Brittany Smith, who's no doubt impressing Kim Moole on that Kirkwood bench. She's played very well since coming into the game. Rolls around and finally goes down for Lessmeyer, who you just kind of see the air go out of her body like, finally.
Yeah, she had a number of good looks at the basket in this fourth quarter as well as the whole game.
7 points. Two-point shot for 14, Kaylee Shea.
They're going to try to determine whether it was a 2 or a 3-point shot.
It was definitely a 2. She had
over the line?
both feet on the line. Yep.
Number 23, Shelby Raymond, and number 5, Shamir Brown.
I imagine they'll just take the shot clock violation here after this possession. You've done just about everything right tonight, Bob, that you can. I mean, they've had few errors. I don't know how many turnovers that they've had, but it hasn't been very many, and they've done a nice job executing offensively.
Yeah, they played very well, and you called that. Not even thinking about trying to attempt a shot there.
It would be discourteous at this point. So Kirkwood's going to be playing Little Priest Tribal College in their next game at Ellsworth. We'll have a chance at North Iowa Area Community College.
Katie Scott hitting the 3. And Kirkwood will run out the clock and leave the home court with a very impressive 95-36 victory tonight over DMACC. We'll be back with postgame next on MC22. College basketball action on Mediacom MC22 is brought to you by the McGrath family of dealerships. Buy 5 Seasons Tire. The Tom Riley Law Firm, by Klinger Paint and Interiors, Heartland Hearing Center, and by Extreme, powered by Mediacom. It was all the Kirkwood women, 95-36. They had 8 players score at least 8 points in the game. Tatiana Hodges-Johnson had 14, Paige Bradford 13, Delaney Harris with 12. Jada Powell led the way for DMACC with 8 points tonight, and Kirkwood just keeps rolling.
Well, you know, the best way to describe Kirkwood is they just continue to have offensive punch. They play superb defense, and they play it for 4 quarters, and that's it. That's where DMACC is going to have to go from here on out. Just got to go back to practice tomorrow, get ready for the next game.
A good crowd and a big win for Kirkwood tonight. For Jerry Koala and Bob James, thanks for watching women's college basketball on MC22.